What's good, everybody? It's your boy D Nice with I2G Hip Hop. We're pulling a double header today. For those that were on our Apple podcast or Spotify for our I2G Radio podcast, we just did our recap of the Team USA basketball winning the gold medal against France. And today on the I2G Hip Hop here on YouTube, we are talking about the game just announced. It's about it was last week actually on the Tacos and Shawarma podcast that he will be dropping the documentary Volume 3. For all those that are familiar with the game, in 2005 he dropped his critically acclaimed debut album, The Documentary, and in 2015 he dropped the documentary Volume 2 and followed that up in 2016 with the documentary 2.5. Which were both great albums, all three of them. Game has one of the more consistent album catalogs in hip hop history over the years. I would definitely give him credit for that. He said hasn't decided yet. It's going to be a secret kind of special date. My odds are telling me it'll probably be sometime in 2025. That will be the 20th. Around 20th anniversary of the documentary, and then also the 10-year anniversary of the documentary Volume 2. But we're here, I2G Hip Hop, especially with these shorts, just to talk about our thoughts, possibly previews on that. We've previewed and talked about the new album LL Cool J has coming out. We've done reviews on the new Freeway and Jake One album. So for all those that are familiar with our YouTube page, know that we do these quite a bit. My opinion, I'm very interested to see, one, the production on the album. Game pretty much since the Super Bowl for the NFL was in LA a few years ago, was a little bit upset about not being a part of that Super Bowl. Kind of felt like maybe a little shade towards either Dr. Dre, Eminem, or whoever was involved with that. But my thing with this particular short, what I want to talk about specifically is Dr. Dre. And it's no surprise when you have Dr. Dre as your executive producer, if you get the album out and it's released and Dre has anything to do with your project, it's going to make it that much better. It's more cohesive. It flows better. The production, is going to be top notch. And Game is no stranger to that. Working recently, when I was recent, but 10 years ago, he worked on the Compton soundtrack with Dr. Dre. That was a incredible track that he had on there. But Game's a little different. Game has dropped quite a few albums where it's had no Dr. Dre involvement or production, and they've been solid. Albums like Jesus Peace had no Dr. Dre production. It did have a bonus track produced by Dre, but the majority of the album itself had no Dre production on it. Another album, The Doctor's Advocate, now it had a lot of production from Dr. Dre's producers, kind of that he worked with or affiliates. So it kind of kept that aftermath sound. Even a lot of the tracks vocally kind of sounded like something that Dr. Dre would rap to. So I will give Game his flowers on that. He's able, and he pretty much knows how to craft an album. He knows sonically, production-wise, what he wants or how he wants the vibe and everything to go. So I don't think that necessarily Dre is essential to have on the documentary 3, but it doesn't hurt by any means. So definitely looking forward to that. I would love to see him work, kind of keep the West Coast production vibe on the album once it does drop. Maybe Irvin E.P. Pope on the album, Jelly Roll. These are some of the guys that he's worked with in the past. To be honest with you, it would not surprise me if he announces or says that it's executive produced by Kanye West. Him and Kanye have always had great chemistry on tracks, and I really think it's kind of essential if Game really wants to drop a classic EP, and when you have the title of the documentary with a Game album, You want something that's top-notch production. You know, regardless of the antics and things that he does, kind of on the outside, people have kind of joked and called him bipolar game. One day he likes Dre, he doesn't like Dre. One day he likes 50, he doesn't like 50. One day he likes Eminem, he doesn't like Eminem. By no means do I think he needs any of those three guys to make the Documentary 3 a great album. He's shown in the past that even without those three on his album, that he's able to put out good music. You know, the hip hop head in me just kind of would like to see it, but at the same token, I really don't think the odds are that great. So I'm looking more towards maybe Kanye West, or maybe someone in-house that he's worked with, maybe Hit Boy possibly as well. He has a great rapport with Hit Boy, and dropped that album with Big Hit, Hit Boy's father as well, mixtape earlier this year that dropped, a great project. But it's going to be interesting to see just the sound and just where lyrically Game is at, you know, being older, 44 years old, what he's talking about now in 2024. Is there any new beefs going to pop up? Will he reignite any old beefs? You know, will he be a more kind of introspective? He's going to be a upcoming parent here soon again. You know, reflective tracks, things like that. I think Game a lot of times kind of gets caught up in a lot of the rah-rah and the beef, which he's made incredible diss tracks over the years, but I kind of want to see a little bit more of a kind of an introspective, kind of a Papa Game type lyricism from him, and kind of introspective as far as maybe his life or over the years. By all means, that's at the end of the day his choice on whatever direction musically he wants to go. But leave your comments in the comments section. What do you think the sound, what do you think lyrically is going to come from Game with the Documentary Volume 3? Again, there's no release date. He just dropped last week that he's going to be dropping this project. Again, my thoughts are maybe January 2025, or maybe in the summertime, something like that. The number 5 seems to kind of have some significance with him. So 2005, 2015, 2025. So I'm thinking sometime next year. Leave your thoughts maybe on the possible date, or maybe some guest appearances, maybe somebody you'd like to see on the album, or that, you know, just your general thoughts on whether you're hyped or excited to hear that Game is dropping the Documentary Volume 3. I2G Hip Hop, the letter I, the number 2, the letter G, Hip Hop, all one word, on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify at I2G Radio. Be sure to check us out. We're going to do a recap on the women's basketball game tomorrow. That's a gold medal game against France. Be on the lookout for that. And we've got some more reviews coming up this week as well. We will also be, for the sports fans as well, we do talk sports a lot on the I2G Radio podcast. We will be at the Raiders-Cowboys preseason game. Be sure to get video, pictures, everything with that. We'll do a recap as well, but that will be coming up next week. But D Nice, I2G Hip Hop signing off. The Game announces Documentary Volume 3, possibly 2025. We'll have to wait and see. Peace.